I love a good homemade Caesar salad, and that's what I'm going to be making for you. But instead of serving it with chunks of bacon and chunks of croutons, I'm going to make Pangrattato. Now that's just a very fancy Italian name for crunchy breadcrumbs. So this is about 3 or 4 rashers of bacon that I've finely chopped. You can also cheat by placing this into a little food processor, just like this one, and then blitzing it to make it into a crumb. It's all about texture when it comes to a Caesar salad. So getting this really fine to make this into a delicious bacon and breadcrumb mixture is key. So I've just put a big glug of extra virgin olive oil into my pan, and then we'll add the bacon first. The reason I add the bacon first is because I want to render some of the fat, which is going to flavour our olive oil and therefore is going to flavour our breadcrumbs. In the meantime, we can get onto the classic Caesar dressing into a little food processor just like this one. I like to add 2 egg yolks, which I'll separate, and we only want those yolks to essentially make an emulsion. A little bit of mustard for some piquancy, along with the good old classic anchovies. Now for some garlic, and finally grating that. And then Parmesan cheese. And before I continue on with this sauce, let's have a look at this bacon. It's smelling pretty good. It's changing colour now. Give it a toss. It'll spit a little bit. That's all right. Fantastic. Now it's time to add our breadcrumbs and just turn the heat to a medium heat. You don't want it too hot. And now it's all about getting golden brown, crunchy crumbs. So tossing it together, you'll see the bread automatically soak up all of the oil and that bacon fat. That's fine. That's what we want it to do. And then we'll leave that for another few minutes. Right, back onto this sauce. I'll add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Good old Worcestershire sauce has a lovely deep flavour to it, so it's great for a dressing like this. You only need about a teaspoon and a half. And now I'll pop the lid on. I'll blitz this until it comes together, and then we'll slowly add in some vegetable oil or grapeseed oil. You want a really neutral oil so we taste all of the other ingredients in this. If I add olive oil, it may overpower this dressing. And now little by little, just like you would make a classic mayonnaise, I'll add the oil until we get a nice light coloured sauce. All right, this is thickened up nicely, so now we need to add some acid. So I like the combination of a bit of vinegar and just a squeeze of lemon, and I'll use the rest of this lemon for the zest later on for the garnish, so a nice little squeeze in there. This will also thin out the sauce. You don't want it to be too thick, because if it's too thick it won't mix nicely with the lettuce leaves. Okay, this sauce is complete. I did have a taste and it's delicious. And this is the perfect consistency. Not too thick, not too thin. Our crumbs have cooled down, they've drained nicely, so it's all about putting this together. Now, I've just washed a cos lettuce. This is a baby cos. I love the baby cos because it's so crunchy. Of course, you could use a large one, but you just have to chop up the large leaves. And have a listen to this. Nice and crunchy, the perfect leaves for a Caesar salad. You know, a Caesar salad, it does have a rich sauce with it. We do have the bacon there, we have the crumbs. You do need a leaf that's going to withstand all those flavours, so this is just perfect. And it's very traditional. Now I'm going to leave some whole. The bigger ones I'm breaking up and I'm placing it in a really large bowl so we can mix all that dressing and the crumbs throughout it. Now I'll add our dressing, and I never add all of it. I like to start with a few generous spoonfuls, and with clean hands, give it a really good toss. And when I say give it a good toss, make sure all the leaves are coated in the dressing, but don't squish the lettuce leaves because you don't want to bruise them. You want to keep that crunch. You see how each leaf is getting coated? That is just perfect. Now I'll add some of these crumbs now, and then the rest is going to be a garnish. So mix that through. That is looking spectacular, especially with those speckles of crumbs throughout it. And now we can plate up. So I'll just use this nice green plate. We'll add a generous amount of those leaves to the bowl, piling it up. Now to finish it off, just a small amount of the lemon zest to freshen it up, an extra amount of Parmesan cheese over the top. And because we've made so much effort making bacon and breadcrumbs, it's only appropriate to sprinkle or rain over a little bit more of that breadcrumb. That's kind of like a deconstructed Caesar salad. But what I love about it, every mouthful you get, you're going to get the breadcrumbs and the salad and the dressing. It's one of those Moorish salads that you just can't wait for the next bite.